Thanks for staying with us. So there is a video trending about a popular filmmaker, Amara, who had an intense conversation with her mother concerning her sexuality. In the video, according to her, she said her mother emphasized that Amara is disgracing her among her women folk because of the choices she made concerning her sexuality. Now, many of you may have seen the video, others may not have. We're not going to show the video, but I'll give you a brief summary of what the real issue is. But joining us on this conversation is an award-winning TV and radio presenter, event host, voiceover artist, and actress, Munyazo Abebe, popularly known as Moe Abebe in the building.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, good to have you. Those nails are beautiful.
Thank you. These nails have caused a lot of drama, a lot of controversy.
Yes,
but yes.
But it's nice. It pops really, really nice.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show. So, now, one of the hardest conversations to have, especially on your view, is this issue of sexuality. Because there's issue of homosexuality, lesbianism, there are different ones now, all sorts of different types. I only know those two basics. But it's a hard conversation because in our country, it's illegal. So many of people are scared to come out on their sexuality because it's 14 years if you do so. But we also know that it happens in the background. We know that these people exist in our society, whether we want to like it or not. So one of them, which is Amara, she's popular, and she had this conversation with her mother. We will not discuss the sexuality part because that is her identity that she has chosen. Our real conversation is having these hard conversations with your family. It's one thing that your friends know that this is your choice and accept you for your choice. But how does a father or a mother accept your choice? That's the real conversation. Please join us on 081-270-53687, 0913907694. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be happy to read your message. So let me come to you, Nima. Let me start with you on this. What are your thoughts on parents' reaction to their children's sexuality, especially because in the modern times, it's almost like a realization that most families would be having this conversation in recent times.
So prior to these new modern sexuality issues, in my own time, I'm still a young person though, the conversation was about chastity, having a
Don't get pregnant.
When do you have sex? In fact, my mom would know if somebody toasted you from the way you corner into the house. And, you know, so I grew up quickly, having two elder sisters and seeing my parents fight over it. In fact, the choice of person, it would seem like a discrimination about ethnic, or about status, or about religion in my home. So tough conversations like that happened in the house. And I was a younger person looking at my sisters and my parents battle it out. I made the choice to make my choice, please my parents deliberately at 16. If it was something I knew would give them a headache, I know they bring and come. I don't even want to try it because I see how painful, you know, sometimes when my sisters go out, how they deal with the decisions and, you know, say, why would she not understand, you know? So I know, and I recently said to a younger girl, she had sex, and the family are Muslims, and the father flared up, and they almost kicked her out, and I had to counsel her. I said to her, you've done this. You can't blame your parents for reacting. Maturity is to expect them to react. You don't judge them, just as you don't want to be judged because you think you made a mistake. They have expectations of a child. They put in everything to raise up. They are shocked.
Okay, let me pause you for a second. I'll come to Tokwe first, back onto my... So she said sometimes in the example you gave, it's a mistake. But in the example that we're talking about is a choice they've made for who they are. And the woman said, you're a sin. She said that when she's walking down the street, people are laughing at her because of the choices you have made. Now, when a mother says that to a child, especially in this kind of situation, what do you think, how do you think she could have handled it? I mean, was that the way she was handling it? Because based on what Nima said, listen, you should expect that reaction. Or the mother should go higher than that.
For every action, there will be consequences. And in this day and age where everybody is being woke, I cannot deny my Christian faith. And there are many people that agree that this is normal, this is not abnormal, this is what, some people were born like this, you cannot fight it, this is the way their wiring is, and all of that. There are people for and against. We know the country is against it. My religion is against it. I do not believe that we should attack a person, but we should correct whatever we feel is wrong. So we must separate, this is a good person doing something we don't like, but she's a good person doing something we don't like. And when you don't, the only way you can overcome every challenge is to love. So it's a tough call. We grew up in a society where we like pointing fingers, and parents who feel like my child has gotten pregnant is an embarrassment. Everybody now say, so now you born the picky way, no even marry before you get married, that kind of thing. Oh, so you're the mother of the gay person, you're the mother of this non-conformist person. And we point fingers, and I don't think as a society that's the right action to take, because every parent in that situation is already dealing with a lot. So the society itself is putting more pressure. Do you think that woman is happy with her daughter? Okay. She's already going through a whole lot as a mother, trying to understand, this is what my daughter is doing. I don't even know how to cope. Then the society is now pointing fingers against me. It's a combination of many things.
Let me be sure. So what you're saying now is that mother one side.
Yes.
The issue now of the society.
Yes.
That those people that the woman is lamenting about.
Yes.
Is your problem. Let me come to Moe. We'll come back to you. Moe, what are your initial thoughts on this?
Now, I totally agree with everything that Tokwe said. I personally believe that the only way to handle an issue like this is with love, and that's both on the mother's side and also both on society's side. I feel one's sexuality, like you said, is actually what makes them a really, really huge part of themselves. And if that part of yourself is constantly being attacked, especially by someone like your parents, life must be absolutely horrible for you. Do you know what I mean? And I can only imagine what she, like, you know, she's fully established. Everyone knows her. She's a popular producer, like you said. She's, you know, been in the game for a while. But just this one aspect of her life, her mother is willing to, you know, push her aside.
Right. But if you think about it, I mean, listen, we are in 2021. Reality check. These things are happening. Should parents start preparing their minds for the worst case scenario? Because listen, as much as you choose to, I raise my children well, they are God-fearing, they read the Bible, we do this, we do vigil, everything, and they are Muslims, and this. There might be somewhere down the line where you're confronted with what Amara's mother is being confronted with. How do you therefore accept your child for who they are, regardless of their sexuality? It's a difficult decision. But whether you like it or not, some people just have to accept it, because there are other societies abroad where they are faced with this reality. It was painful, but many of them have accepted that this is who you are and be able to turn away from society and focus on you and that child. Nima, is that something women or mothers today should start?
Okay, so for some topics, it's easy. For some, it's tough. And based on people's backgrounds, I would like to talk to Amara now, or someone like her. If you're different, you have to wait it out till you're understood.
Wait, pause that statement again. If you are different,
you have to
wait it out till you're understood. Interesting.
You have to, before you say they're judging you, you have to wait till it is extremely visible and clear that they're judging you. This mother has not disowned her child. In those days, we used to say, I disown you in society and all of that, and don't ever be related or associated with me. This mother is open in a rebirth or change. She loves this child. It's only tough accepting who that identity is. So give her time, but if you can change for her sake, because you know me, I'm totally against. You know, so for her now, she's the one who's put her mom out there. That's the way I see it. I am a child who I did a lot of things to please my parents as part of my growing up. A lot of my decisions as a child, I hated anything that brought tears to my parents' eyes. I would never be caught at it. So that's the person I am. So it would be tough for someone like me to be on her side. My advice usually is wait it. I remember when I took the hijab, growing up in a community where all my friends were not Muslims, and the Muslims there were not hijabites. And they found this strange in 1999. Now, Nima, what is this now? Why is this? You know, can I just do it a little bit and a little bit? I kept my friendships. I waited. I've not lost any friendship for my identity.
Let me define.
So it's the same thing when you come home. If you cannot conform with a family's goal, you know, every family have, some people come from a very Christian background, they have their goal. Once you break out, you're different. You have to.
Now let's define waiting. Wait it out could be lie to yourself. Wait it out means lie to your family of your true identity. Wait it out could mean that be deceitful with those around you, because you're not when you go for family gatherings, you are regular Nima. When you're outside, you are now the choice or the different Nima. That could be deceitful.
I hate to use this example. I hate to use it, but Bobrisky is waiting it out.
How?
He shows up at family events, even though he's different. And when he shows up at his father's house, he's his father's son, not Bobrisky. At his family's events. Now, your family, you remember your roots, where you're from. You conform. You don't come there in a rebellion. You must accept me. I'm your child. Whatever. You don't know what values and what your parents have done to establish those values and respect them. You see this, I must be happy, and when I'm happy, everybody must, you know, accept mentality is selfish.
Okay, let me pause you.
She's saying, I will never go. She's the one who is disowning. I listened to the video yesterday. Yeah. She's the one who is disowning family and saying, not until they call for me with love, I won't go there again.
Let me pause you.
Let's go on a break.
There's a lot has been said. We'll define these waiting properly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this video that went viral concerning Amara breaking the news of her sexuality to her mother. And before the break, Nima had talked about, out of respect for the family in which you've been raised, you should wait out your choices until you are understood, which I thought was pretty heavy. Now, it's like we're now trying to define, what does wait out mean? I mean, so you're not giving an example like Bobrisky, we saw the pictures when he went to see his father, he looked like his regular self. Outside of social media, he's Bobrisky. And that to you is waiting out until they understand and accept him for who he is. But let me come to you, Moe. What are your thoughts on this, on waiting it out?
My fear about waiting it out is that means you're literally not living. You're waiting until your parents approve. And then to me personally, I feel, what's the point of being an adult if you can't make your choices? Do you understand what I mean?
So as an adult, you should make your choices. Now, are we also considering what this young lady, Amara, is going through? She said, I can't sleep. My head is banging. She's also a child. So if I were in her shoes, if the whole world doesn't accept me, if the whole nation Nigeria says I am ostracized, I don't want to be ostracized by my mother.
By my mother, exactly.
That's the last person I want to make me feel the same way.
So it's like being between the ocean and the deep blue sea, or I don't know what that word is about. But you see, for me, I think that every actor in this movie is in a tough position, and I feel that love must lead. Love must lead, and love must lead, because when we have this conversation in other areas that are not this controversial, we would say the adult should do the adulting thing, and the adult here is the mother, and that the mother should love, whether you born cripple or you born deaf and dumb, or you've born what you don't want to born. You are criminal. Or you born criminal, you are born, you must love what you have born. And then you pray God will help you to carry your cross. Now, from the perspective, that's me from the, my first point was to do with the society. We should stop pointing fingers. Every man within kettle, we are all working towards being better versions of ourselves. Let's not put more coal on something that's already very hot. Then the mother, you are the most, you are the most adult in this relationship. And you are wiser, basically meant to be wiser because of the years you've had on earth. You shouldn't transfer the aggression you're receiving from the society on a child who's already going through a whole lot. Lead with love and face God. Then let's deal with the child. In this situation, I'm not like Nima. I love and respect my parents. I know that I carry a huge responsibility as an only child, but I did not do everything because of what my parents said. My parents gave me, they always raised me with that idea of like, find your own path, you know, and I would always have that conversation. Marry my husband, he's a dope man, they wanted somebody they could talk to, and I had to convince them of why it made sense. So if I was having to wait until whatever they say, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So as an adult, you need to make adult decisions, but you also need to be sensitive to the fact that you are carrying a name, you are born from a family, and you must respect them. So it's finding that balance that the girl needs to understand how to do it. There are things that you do that you will not rub into your father's face. There are people that smoke and drink and they don't do it in front of their parents. You know, because, it's not because they are being hypocritical, it's because you just feel that my parents can, out of respect for these
Now you're going to what Nima said. That's exactly what Nima said.
Is that finding, that's I took it in hierarchy of everybody.
Right.
That when you realize I won't do this thing in front of them because I don't understand, I know that they will not accept.
But if your father knows you smoke, he has heard you smoke, everybody has told him he smokes.
And knows that because you respect me, you don't do it in front of me.
But he knows you're smoking.
Yes.
So he already knows.
Yes.
So it's still disrespectful that you're smoking because he's aware that you're smoking.
So you see, the thing is, we're using an example of that. But the truth is there are many areas of our lives where we do things for our own peace of mind, but we don't do it in a place outside because we feel like it is not acceptable there. Then the last point I want to make before you jump away from me is, why must you bring everything to social media, guys? Like, what exactly is the use of this? Yeah. Why did you record yourself crying and then saying, I'm not saying, and then you put it, and then you call and record the conversation of your mom and put it online?
That's a different conversation to talk about because that's the thing. I hear you, but that's a new world.
Yes.
That's the new world.
I was going to talk about the consequence of choices.
Yeah.
Whatever place you are, whether you want to please and make parents happy, or you want to take decisions and say, you know, I'm not going to conform with conventions, I'm unconventional, you know, whatever, it's a choice.
Yeah.
And it comes with some consequences. Being an adult is dealing with the consequences. Amongst 5 children, I chose to do, please, study to please, career choice, this, that. But I found myself, by grace, in areas that I love. I'm on TV. I wanted to be on TV. My parents didn't understand it, but they accepted it when I finally ended up on TV because they know how responsible a child I was. Never one day an objection. So I chose it. I live with it. I love my consequences. It didn't conform with my friends, so I was judged by friends who thought, waiting, until you know they do anything different. You don't want to go out until your parents approve of it. But it was a choice, and I would boldly say to my friend, I don't miss it all. I'm happy with where the choice has led me. So she, as an adult, being an adult is accepting that the consequence that comes with this choice, I will take. And I will still be my mother's daughter.
And not being hurtful of that consequence because you have prepared your mind that this was going to happen.
It's a strange thing. You who married an Edo man will know your parents would have been shocked, but it is strange to them. And there's a side of everyday conversation. You're ready for that. So it's a choice, but you're still your mother's daughter. That has not made you forget your link to her.
Yeah.
So what I would expect of her is be in service of your mother, even
convince them,
without them accepting
keep on
you.
loving.
Keep on loving. So you give what you're asking. I'm in a situation where I don't understand. I don't want to go deep with something I'm dealing with. But the way I have done it is to leave my responsibilities. On Sunday, I was talking to a mentee. She has to deal with a marriage situation of being different. And I've told her, I said, no matter what hostilities you see on ground, there are duties that you hold.
Yes.
That family.
Be responsible.
So your duties to that family, don't fail 1 minute. If it doesn't count in the family, it will count to your creator. And it will come around to count for you eventually. It took a long time. It was almost an hour conversation because I was expecting her, and she, you know, she kept having, well, how do I become this? I said, this the hard way. For someone like this lady, it's the hard way. There's no simple shortcut to it.
Right, so you said give what you're asking. I'll come to you, Moe. Let me take this call. I think I have a call. Good morning. Are you there, Madam Moa?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show, Yvonne.
Good morning.
I've been trying to call you guys for ages now.
Oh, thanks for reaching out.
Well done. I totally agree with what Tope is saying. You know, as a parent, we have an expectation. There's something that we are expecting. There's no mother that will want to see her child behaving otherwise. But like Tope says, sometimes the society have a way of adding more pressure on us because of what our children are going through. So if the society will get it right, you know, the mother is now reacting based on what people are saying to her. That's why she's reacting. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't love her child, you know. So it's the society now that is controlling what she's doing.
Okay, thank you very much, Yvonne. We're going to break. Yvonne, wait. You said give what you're asking, which I thought was really profound from what Nima said. How does a young lady like that give to her mother what she's asking? She's asking your mother to love me unconditionally.
I feel like it's easier said than done, because if we go back and we even watch the video, she did say that her mother referred to her as a sin. I cannot imagine my mother calling me that. Like, I don't think I would be able to actually face her again. So I also feel like it's easier to say, oh yes, give love. But when someone is hating you, when someone is literally throwing words at you that definitely equal hate, it's going to be hard to show
That's another
love.
point that's important. Those are heavy words. Let me go on a break. I have to go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue, reacting to society. Now let's focus on society. So the woman says people laugh at her. How can we educate ourselves in society to support people and not condemn them? Before we do that, let's take a few comments and messages.
Oladidi says, she gave birth to a girl. She raised up a girl. She now became a grown woman and comes back home to tell her mom she's a man. And you want the mother to say, that's fine, my son. Possible, Rara. That's just a but nonetheless, the media is the most evil. You don't have to travel abroad to know these things or be exposed to them. You now see them everywhere.
But when a mother says you are sin, that's some heavy words.
Okay, so yeah, that was where we were before we went on the break. And the truth is, many of us have seen the way our parents used to be. Parents lash out when they curse. Some parents curse. I'm grateful to God that my parents never cursed. I did not grow up in that environment, yes. But some parents curse you out as a child.
But that is something that I feel we need to correct.
Yes, and we are talking about it. We say it on the show. We discuss it all the time. So that's like
we should excuse them for doing that.
But what they've done is wrong.
That's verbal abuse.
I'm saying that if some parents would curse, some parents would hurt, some parents would scream. We've seen parents that threw out a pregnant child, a pregnant teenage child, and abandoned the child because you are an embarrassment to this family. Which is why I said the first thing we expect all parents to do is, regardless of whatever your child does, you have an assignment to love your child. Whichever way. If the child comes out with one eye, or comes out and says he's a man, or says he's a woman, you have an assignment to love. It is not comfortable, but you do horrible things and God loves you. So you must every parent must find it in themselves to find what is lovable about that child, regardless of what the child does.
Let me take this call from Chiri. Chiri, are you there?
That space now, we'll address that one.
Chiri, are you there?
How?
You're live.
Yes,
go ahead, please.
Good morning. How?
Good morning.
Hey?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that regarding the topic on ground. Hello?
Please listen to me, not the TV.
Good morning. Good morning. How?
You're listening to the television. Listen to me, please. Go ahead.
All right. All right. Okay, my contribution is that every family have an established norms and values. And I think when we grew up in a family that already have an established norms and values as a child, and at the time we become an adult, we should be able to show consideration when making choices and when making decisions that will affect those established norms and values already existing in that family even before we were born. Now, regarding this issue on ground, the lady made a choice as an adult. But whatever choice he or she is making, she should show consideration to the feelings of others. That's what makes her a human. She should be able to put the feelings of people around him and the reputation of the family where she's coming from into consideration.
Chiri, can they also put her feelings into consideration? There are two sides.
Yes.
So how would they also put her own?
Yes, they will put her feelings into consideration by understanding the path she's trying to take.
Okay.
Then,
Oh, sugar. We lost that call. Yeah, go ahead, Moyi.
no, I'm still.
She's still there.
She's still there.
I think we're having issues with connect. So yeah, Chinchire was saying that they should understand. I mean, no, she should understand and put their feelings into consideration. Yes. And we're also saying, hey, you too, this is a young woman who feels I am living in darkness. I want people to accept me for who I am. I want to be free from this prison. And I want the first person to accept me should be my family. So shouldn't the family say, okay, I don't like your choice, but I accept you for who you are. You are my daughter. Yes. Shouldn't that be real? How do we therefore begin to help parents, mothers out there to accept their children for whatever choices? Maybe you don't like it, but at some point, you have to just live with
love, exactly like you said.
Accepting a different child sometimes. Let me use the example of a criminally inclined child.
Okay.
A child that you've done everything. You know, some people even take to deliverance. The child to remove the evil spirit of criminality. And then the child chooses that path, is just inclined towards that path. As a parent, you love that child. But you cannot stop the society from happening to the child if the consequence of his action ends in maximum prison, for instance. You know? Some people can't deal with peer pressure. They end up in cultism. It leads to death. It leads to death by hanging. There's a consequence. The mother would love the child to the end of the consequence. It doesn't make the mother love the child.
It doesn't change the consequence.
It doesn't change the consequence,
yes.
you know?
So remember Ireti Doyle, the daughter,
she
posted,
did everything.
she
did the business. She did business with people.
So the mother comes and says, I'm not part of this. You know, put out a disclaimer. Now, it doesn't mean she doesn't love her child.
No.
But she did that. Now, did she do that for society? Or on principle, because that's what we're saying about society is laughing at me that my daughter is defrauding everybody.
Yeah.
So no, I'm saying that I'm trying to clarify the rationale. What are we doing?
I personally think that move was in a sense done for society. That was just like that was what society expected her to do, and that's what she did do. Now, you know, when you were speaking about criminals and how their mothers will still love them, it just reminds me of Narcos. Which is all about, Pablo Escobar and what's his name? The guy who built the tunnel, can't remember his name now. Chapo, yes. If there's one thing that we've noticed about these criminals, they were extremely close to their mothers. Their mothers didn't disown them. Yes, all of them, they ended up in maximum prison. But in a sense, I feel like their mothers did what I expect every mother to do, which was love. So no matter what, she deserves love.
And I think that's the most important message.
Moyi, are you there? Thanks for calling. Moyi. Hello, Moyi, you're there.
Thank you for the great job you all are doing. May the Lord continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Quickly, my contribution this morning. I've seen two extremes with, with parents and children, and this is it. The first analogy is, there are parents that have given birth to children that they have all done well in life and they are proud of. And there are some parents that have given birth to some children and some are doing well, some are not. Some have even given birth to children that all of them are not doing well at all. I pray God will give us good children in Jesus' name. Now, what I want to say is, as parents, we correct our children, we rebuke them when they do things that are wrong. That does not mean we do not love them. According to Sister Lima, she said something. Every family have their norms, they have what they represent and what they stand for. And every society, there are things that are acceptable in every society, and in some societies, these things are not acceptable. So to the mother, I will say to her that she should be hopeful. Like she called her daughter a sin. Someone that is good today can be bad tomorrow. Someone that is bad today can be good tomorrow. So there is still hope. And I want her to be hopeful about this lady. And to every parent out there, I think also, even we children, I think we shouldn't see rebuke or correction as a way of I'm not being loved. Someone once said something, no matter the way you are being rebuked or you are being disciplined, take the discipline. Forget the way. Is it harsh? Just take the good part of it.
Thank you, Moyi.
And work with
it. I love her point, but let us remember, you see, when you say rebuke,
Nah.
You're talking, in this situation, this is a choice I have made. It's like I have chosen to be a carpenter. Accept me. You're making it look as if it's a crime. She didn't commit a crime.
No.
She has it's a crime in Nigeria. It's a crime. It's a crime in Nigeria. It's a crime in Nigeria. But I'm just trying to say that. How do we find that middle ground where somebody's sexuality shouldn't be a crime?
No, in this day and age we have microwave, everything, want everything to happen fast. They did not accept me, I go viral. They did not do this thing, I will go online and talk about it. We are losing the chances of waiting. The waiting game is a long drawn game, but it's important for us to be patient. In marriage, you say, my in-law did not accept me, so they are harassing me. Oh, my husband is doing this, so I'm going.
Yeah.
We are moving to that stage where we are losing the patience, the resilience of waiting. We must wait. As parents, we must wait. As a child, you must wait. They might not get it, but if you keep on waiting and you keep on loving, then you cannot lose. When you wait and you love, you can't lose. So we must push those two.
I think we can wrap up on that. Because resilience, waiting. I mean, it was very simple that Nima said it, but at the end of the day, even in marriage, you have to wait. You work it out. Yeah, there's some you marry a woman or a man that just have some habits that you're like, what in the world is this? But you just continue to wait it out.
It looks
in time eventually. So in this situation, on both sides, you wait
and love
to your family understands. And mothers too, yes, you don't like it, but you wait to have some kind of opening to this lifestyle. But the person as a human being should be loved at the end of the day.
Yes.
Well, let me let you have a final word on this before we wrap up.
Yeah, like with pretty much everything that you did say, I definitely agree. We are a bit impatient nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, even when we're talking about marriage, when we're talking about, choosing a partner, and then even now, getting your family to accept your choice of partner. But nonetheless, I feel like the major thing is on both sides, verbal abuse goes such a long way.
Right.
And to me personally, I can sort of, not necessarily relate, but I don't like being, verbally abused. I cannot imagine my mom calling me a sin. That will affect my confidence completely. So I feel like that's what she is, in a sense, going through right about now.
And that she should just wait.
But yes, my advice to her is that she should just wait it out.
Okay.
And the mother too.
And serve her mom.
And the mother too.
And let her
should
mother
also
see the benefits of having a daughter.
should also equally just be a little bit more open. That's for her mother. And let her mother be a little bit more open.
Okay, at the end of the day, love must conquer all.
Yes.
That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll move on to a whole other topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.